22 more delegates graduate from fashion training school. Amnesty Office gets goodwill gestures from stakeholders. Plus, tidbits, fact file, and more. Hello, welcome to another week of Reintegration 30,000. I am Stella Inamiti, and it is a delight to mention that this is the 8th episode in the series. Let me quickly remind our viewer that Reintegration 30,000 is all about the Presidential Amnesty Program and ongoing efforts to successfully clinch the reintegration of the 30,000 delegates currently engaged in the program back into civil society. Though the emphasis here is apparently on the former armed agitators, there is clearly no doubt that the amnesty program has positively impacted on communities in the Niger Delta and Nigeria at large. It is imperative to note that the amnesty program remains an integral tool in government's policy drive to maintain peace in the Niger Delta region, while also developing human capital assets. Since we are on the subject of human capital development, let's move to our first segment for this episode, A Changed Story. Our changed story for this week is truly a changed person. He has risen from the ashes and shadows to become one of the program's very best and pride. I think it will be best if I just let you see for yourself. Let's bring you the segment, A Changed Story.
My name is Uche Oburia. I'm the director of Dora Uche Poultry Enterprise. I'm from Rivers State in Ikure local government area of Rivers State. My days before, I was a kidnapper. Before 2009, when late Musa Yar'Adua, the late president, produced this amnesty, we were thinking it's just for something. But today I have seen that it is a reality. I dropped my arms on 29 October 2009. Thereafter, I proceeded to non-violent training at Obobra Cross River State for 2 weeks. What I learned from the non-violent training is that for me today, I can't go where there is war. If I see gun today, gun is just like a poison for me. I always go and make peace wherever I see there is trouble. After the non-violent training, I proceed to Achievers Farm at Bayelsa State, Ibogene, for 6 months to learn poultry. So on 2016, January 3rd, I proceeded to Songhai Farm at Delta State, Omekpe Sapele, where I took a 1-week empowerment refresher. Thereafter, on the same March, Colonel O.O. Dabiri came to start my empowerment. On 9th of September 2016, Boro and his entourage came here to commission the project. Today, I can see my dream come to reality. At least I make 10,000 naira every day for the eggs. I have customers. I can no more longer go out there to do nonsense, either to kidnap or to blow up pipe, because that is how the program is designed. maybe at end they will empower you so that you will forget those past life. So as I'm here today, I'm happily married with 4 kids, 4 boys. 2 of them are in secondary school. It is in this business I earn my living. Every morning I walk in here, I sweep up the place, I give them food, give them water. Around the afternoon, I will come here and pick egg. I come here 2 times a day to pick egg. Then I have my customers, I have my complimentary card, I have those that I supply the egg. Then it is the money I made from the egg that I use to buy the feed, because the government has been with me since that September till March. When the fowl started dropping, they leave me. So I have been managing the poultry on my own. Where there are other programs, they call me to go and talk to them as their role mate. To see, some of them don't, I believe that it is amnesty. So that's why any place there is program, they call me all the way from Abuja to go and talk to those people for them to believe that amnesty has come to stay. I believe that amnesty is working. I also thank the President of Nigeria and those people coordinating the program, because when we went to Songhai Delta as our man be, we forced the man to give us cash. But the man refused, say he must put something on the ground. That this government is not like past government that everybody doing how he likes. That whatever thing they ask him to do, he must put it on the ground. That thereafter, that they must come to expect, just like you people have come here today. So I still tell the man that had it been you gave us 1 million or 2 million that day, you have cheated on us, because what he has put in on place on our ground is a life something. So I thank the president, I thank the coordinator of this program, Brigadier Paul Boro, and my own facilitator, Kone O.O. Dabiri, who has come to make my dream come to reality.
Uche Ogburia's story is inspiring and particularly encouraging for thousands of other delegates in the amnesty program, as well as for many out there seeking change. For the Amnesty Office, it is usually joyful to see delegates making positive changes in their lives, as this is typically in line with its mandate. We have often mentioned here on the program, and in fact, we did so just some moments ago, that the ultimate goal of the Presidential Amnesty Program is to fast-track the reintegration of the target 30,000 delegates back into civil society. Of course, the expectation is that these delegates will become diligent and productive members of communities, contributing their quota one way or the other. This week, on our segment Insight, we will take you back in time to 2015 at the onset of the Buhari administration, where clearly defined targets were set for the reintegration component of the Presidential Amnesty Program. The narratives and stories of Nigeria as a rising giant has never before sounded as convincing as they do now. Never before have the changes been so visible and apparent. And the people of this great nation, indeed the world's most populous black nation, have never before now passionately embraced the hope of better times, accentuated by responsive government. There is clearly no doubt that the tide has turned, and like millions in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria would say, these are indeed good times. This is the story of the Presidential Amnesty Program. The change envisaged by President Muhammadu Buhari and currently being orchestrated by the coordinator of the program, Brigadier General Paul Buru.
My mandate essentially is to ensure that the amnesty program is successfully and efficiently seen through. Yes, and this program is based on disarmament, demobilization, rehabilitation, and reintegration. I want to make bold to say that the aspect of disarmament and demobilization, as well as rehabilitation, has been done. We are in the last phase, which has to do with reintegration, and this is the phase that we are pursuing right now.
In telling the story of the Niger Delta region, there is the distinct feeling that one is telling the very story of the fatherland. A story of struggles and strife, as well as the collective emergence of a people's will to succeed, even in the face of lurking shadows of doubt. Indeed, the proclamation of amnesty for former armed agitators in the Niger Delta region signaled the watershed and drove the change process. Incidentally, change is the mantra of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. The president's vision for a great Nigeria envisages a fresh lease of life to key priority areas such as the development of the Niger Delta. The imperatives for this are all too clear. The Niger Delta region continues to provide the bulk of the country's revenue from oil exploration. Its continued relevance and role in the polity therefore makes the ultimate target of sustaining stability and development in the Delta even more necessary. The Presidential Amnesty Program remains a key component to drive that agenda. There are currently a total of 30,000 delegates captured in the program, most of whom are positively engaged in trainings with the capacity to turn them into model citizens. Human capacity development is at the core of the Presidential Amnesty Program and is the cornerstone of the reintegration component. At this critical phase of the program, the coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Buru, has followed up with seemingly tall but clearly achievable targets. These targets all aim at ensuring the successful and sustainable reintegration of already trained delegates into civil society as productive members.
And in this phase, we have tried to carry out activities to strengthen the hearts and minds of the people, that's the ex-militants.
This becomes more feasible as the Presidential Amnesty Office begins to map out available opportunities, matching them with skills development within the program. Having laid that platform, Brigadier General Paul Buru began to invest in building relationships and structures to facilitate the rapid reintegration of already trained delegates. These efforts focus essentially on creating opportunities of job placements for these young Niger Delta youth in the public and private sectors.
I am bold to say that the Nigerian economy has risen drastically, increasingly since after this program started. So we must give credence to Mr. President for his support and continuity, sustainability of the program.
You're watching Reintegration 30,000, a series on the activities of the Presidential Amnesty Program. Our guest today on Talking Point is a Niger Delta stakeholder, PANDEF member, Organizing Secretary, Pan-Niger Delta Youth Leadership Forum, and Bayelsa State Representative on the Presidential Amnesty Program, Ben Selakaye. Sir, thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Stella, for having me on the program.
As a member of all the aforementioned bodies, what are the contributions of these bodies towards government development agenda of the Niger Delta region?
The various bodies I belong to, we've been working closely to foster peace and security, working with government and government agencies to see that the aspiration of our people and government is met in the total best interest of our people and Nigeria.
You're a representative of Bayelsa State on the Presidential Amnesty Program. Tell us what this assignment entails in terms of managing ex-agitators and also partnering with the Amnesty Office.
Okay, initially when the amnesty was proclaimed by President Musa Yar'Adua, and all the planning, it was done without the people that the project has been designed for being part of the planning process. So in the wisdom of His Excellency late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua, when the amnesty was granted and everybody was out, he thought it wise to get the people to bring an input. So I was nominated by our people from Bayelsa State to be part of the planning process. And that is what we did over these years, planned, put the framework with which the program is being run. And I will say that that integration and that partnership as at the planning stage is what has today given the life to this program and why the successes the program has been recording. Because you see, you don't plan for a people when they are not part of it. You don't even really understand the cultural background these people are coming from. You don't understand the psychological impact they've had over these years. You don't understand the way they reason. So when you plan for people without having these proper details, you see that the entire planning process will not have actually the depth and the input of the people. So it will not really come out very, very well. But in the wisdom of His Excellency the President that brought us on board, the planning gave life to the program. And today you can see the program is running on a roller coaster and is been delivering results, excellent results all over the world.
In spite of the successes being recorded by the Amnesty Program, we still get reports on pockets of crimes and criminalities in the Niger Delta region, like pipeline vandalism and kidnappings. What do you think are the challenges?
Criminality is a global phenomenon. It exists everywhere in this world, even to the most peaceful nations in this world. There are pockets of criminality. These pockets of kidnapping and other criminal vices that exist in our region does not mean that the program had not succeeded or that there is no sense of security or peace. But you see, it is criminality in its nature. Criminals everywhere in this world strive to beat security, while security also improve on a daily basis. So I think the things we experience, pockets of those few criminalities we experience in the Niger Delta is just it's just a natural situation that criminality strives to make its way wherever they find themselves.
Do you believe that amnesty is working?
Amnesty is a work in progress. It's working. And I believe that the focal point of the leadership of the program today is in the collective best interest of our people. Because I will firmly believe that no matter what a man is, being a vegetarian, a monk or whatever, he needs to feed in one form or the other. The rich feeds, the destitute feeds, the poor feeds. So the focal position of the government today for agricultural development that this office is standing by and strongly developing, I think it is in the right direction. And I want to encourage the Presidential Advisor, General P.T. Boro, to continue and strive to get it even better than where it is.
Sir, we will wrap it up here. Thank you for your thoughts and contributions on this segment of the program, Talking Point. We hope to have you join us again soon.
Thank you, Stella, for having me.
Ben Selakaye is a Niger Delta stakeholder, PANDEF member, and organizing secretary, Pan Niger Delta Youth Leadership Forum. Time now for our segment PAP in Recap. The Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta and coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Boro, retired, has described the various ongoing vocational skills empowerment training programs for beneficiaries as a viable platform to grow micro, small, and medium enterprises in the Niger Delta region. The presidential aide made the statement during a fashion show at the graduation ceremony of 22 beneficiaries at the Balamere Fashion Academy, Lagos. General Boro said the vocational training in fashion and design is part of an integrated strategy towards job creation in the Niger Delta, which also targets the ongoing reintegration of delegates into civil life. The Amnesty boss, who was represented by Ayama Mary Bire, a staff from the Vocation Department of the Amnesty Office, said the skills training would provide delegates with tools and expertise to explore available opportunities in the sector.
While you are waiting for the feedback from the Amnesty Office, we can start small. Actually start small, not to go back. And I'm waiting to go back and relax at home. Actually start small.
The 22 beneficiaries went through a 6-month intensive training on fashion design, starting with needleworks, use of manual sewing machines to electrical and other industrial machines. In a related development, another set of Amnesty beneficiaries comprising 100 delegates have successfully concluded advanced training in farming techniques at the Integrated Songhai Farming Institute in Amukwe, Delta State. The delegates now join a growing list of agro-allied trained Amnesty beneficiaries who are being deployed to join the National Crusade on Food Security and Agricultural Renaissance. The delegates were trained in various areas of cropping, animal husbandry, as well as value addition to some particular crops.
It's been a worthwhile experience here. We've gained so much knowledge, we've acquired so much skill in the production of fish and birds.
And finally, accolades have continued to train the successful implementation of the Presidential Amnesty Program, with some high-profile Nigerians pledging to support the initiative. Some of these Nigerians have literally taken their support to the Amnesty Office in Abuja, where they met with the Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta and coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Boro.
Let me just thank you all for assistance of the team spirit of the General. General has been fantastic, at least extra call.
I'm here to appreciate this effort, to also ask for the actions as for more, just to sustain what they are doing. So we're waiting more from the message. I appreciate it.
We have yet again come to the end of another interesting episode of Reintegration 30,000. Before we go, a quick reminder that the Presidential Amnesty Program is in the reintegration phase. I am glad to say that we will definitely be back same time, same station next week with another informative and educative package. Do remember to continue to visit our various social media platforms to make your comments and contributions. Also remember this, Amnesty works. I am Stella in Amity.